The sun converts 5 million tons of matter into energy every second. This energy from nuclear reactions within the sun is sent out into the solar system as light and heat. The Earth receives only a small part of this energy, which we see and feel in different ways. As the sun warms the Earth, the air is also warmed. The warm air rises and cool air rushes in below, causing the conversion of sunlight into another form of solar energy, wind. Today, this turbine harnesses wind to provide some of the energy for running an amusement park near Allentown, Pennsylvania. Another example of wind use today is this turbine, which helps light Clayton, New Mexico. Use of wind energy will increase in the future and help the United States to become more energy independent. But wind energy is nothing new in America. The idea of windmills was brought here by early European settlers and used in many ways to power grinding mills, and later to pump water for the steam locomotives that connected New York and San Francisco, and to supply water for farming. These early windmills were mechanical, often using a series of gears to harness energy. This energy could be stored by using the wind to pump water into an elevated storage tank. Gravity delivered the water whether the wind was blowing or not. This system was used for irrigation and household water supplies. With the coming of electric lights and appliances, wind systems were designed to generate electricity. A series of batteries was used to store this energy. Wind energy reached its peak in the United States in the 1930s and 40s, when at least 2 million windmills were in operation, providing an important source of energy for rural America. Many households had their own windmill and generator. Most of those generators produced 1 or 2 kilowatts of electricity. A kilowatt is 1,000 watts and can light 10 100-watt light bulbs. During the early 1940s, large wind generators which could provide power to many users were introduced. This power was distributed through a utility grid, a network of transmission lines which sent electricity from a central source to individual users. Towering above Grandpa's Knob near Rutland, Vermont, the Smith Putnam turbine fed electricity to a Vermont utility company. This system was designed to produce up to 1¼ megawatts of electricity. 1 megawatt equals 1 million watts, or enough electricity to light 10,000 100-watt light bulbs. But a cheaper, more convenient source of energy was sweeping the country, one that didn't require batteries, water storage tanks, or maintenance. Electric power lines from centralized coal and gas-fired power plants brought cheaper electricity to outlying areas, and wind energy was neglected. Today, increasing costs and other problems associated with conventional fuel make wind again a promising part of America's energy resources. In theory, it is possible to harness about 60% of the energy in the winds. This potentially usable power in the wind blowing across the United States in 1 year is more than the country's total power needs for that same period. Meet Marcellus Jacobs, whose work with wind spans the period from the peak of wind energy use in the 30s and 40s to the present revival of interest.
We just started developing our wind plant on the ranch there in Montana, 40 miles from town. We had no electricity, and there was no hope of high lines for a good many years. So we started to devise a machine to make electricity from the wind, of which there was plenty, and built several test plants using Ford Model T rear ends. We built, I think, about a dozen and put them on ranches for 50 miles around there. And after 3 or 4 years, they proved so successful that we decided to make a business of it. Our past experience in developing and building wind energy systems proved that with the increase in energy costs a new and improved type of wind energy system would be very practical and competitive with the energy costs of fossil fuel systems now being used.